to another fantastic episode of the AI Show. My name is Seth Juarez, and I'm super excited because this time around, I'm not kidding, it's going to be a good one. That's what I keep telling myself. We put that little AI Show thing in the corner. Again, for those of you that follow Microsoft, we just had our wonderful Build conference. And the reality is, as we were looking at the content, I was like, listen, it feels like we're not giving enough time to people. And so everyone else had a really good idea, and they were like, hey, Seth. And I was like, what? And they were like, why not have a couple of folks from the AI groups talk about some of the new things at Build? And I thought, that is a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. And so that's what we're doing. Let me show you what we got going on here. I actually pre-wrote it out because there's a lot of good stuff. By the way, super excited for people to be here. I'm going to take a look over here where people are hailing from. Looks like we've got France, Beldathas. Bonjour, mon ami. Tout va bien aujourd'hui? We're going to do the rest of this thing in French. Wow, I look like I got bags under my... Whoa, I need to use some moisturizer or something. Yeah, we've had a long week, not gonna lie. So let me tell you a little about what we got going on today, and y'all can get ready with your questions and stuff. You can already hear questions coming in on Learn TV. By the way, anytime you hear a boom, that's Learn TV telling me there's something to look at. I'm also watching the chat. I have to look this way. So it looks like I have a chalkboard head. France, Singapore by way of New York City. That's Tina. Hi, Tina. Musa Mukhtar, wonderful. Where are you coming from? He's from Nigeria. Every Nigerian I've ever met, they're the nicest people ever. And I'm not just saying that because I'm schmoozing here. I lived in southern Spain for a while, and there's a lot of Nigerians there. Always super nice. Super nice. Thanks for being here, Musa Mukhtar. What do we got? Janny Skew, number 7, is also here to keep us in check, as he always does. Thank you. Or she, I don't know. No one, I don't know. Seth is still full of energy even after that awesome build we had this week. Yes, it was an awesome build. I had a really good time. Not gonna lie. Finland, of course. Kevin Oliver is here. Hello, my friend. He's like a mind reader. So I'm glad you're here. Also, we try to make these fairly interactive, but I'm going to tell you what's going on today. Let's go to my full screen here. We've got 5 different guests coming on. Jeff Mendenhall talk about Azure Applied AI Services. What does it mean? Why is it cool? Ashley Yao is going to reprise his appearance on the AI show. Text analytics for health. We did a little bit of that, but maybe there's some more stuff. Krishna Doss is third up in line. He's going to talk about the Docs, Translator, and this crazy formatting stuff. Because you get you translate stuff and then it comes back in text, and then it's like, I don't want to give too much away, but you will be impressed if you haven't seen this. It's pretty good stuff. Gary Pretty, again, coming on to the AI show. He was here a couple of weeks ago. Remember, we talked a little bit about bots, but bots that you could call on the phone. It was fantastic. And then rounding out after about the top of the next hour, somewhere in there, if we're staying on time, Sethu Raman to talk all about managed endpoint for models. AI models, not hand models like me. What do you think? These beautiful paws. I'm not a hand model. But if I wasn't a programmer, I would likely go hand model way. Musa says, please, I need a developer mentor. Me too. Joe Mutambo from Zambia. Hello, my friend. So glad you're here. Yes, Kevin is here. I already said that, but I need to make sure we get his... Is that a corgi? All right. The end of the music is a signal for me to actually start working. All right, let's bring Jeff on here. Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
How are you doing today?
Good. So just a couple of things, Jeff, because there's a live studio audience, but for the audience, they know this because we actually record packaged AI shows that then later people look at. But in between, I get to mess around a little bit. And so you were very nice and said you would stay for one question or two afterwards. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastical. So let me get my stuff up here so I know what I'm talking about. This is great. How'd you like Build, Jeff?
That was pretty amazing, all the cool things we saw. You know, it just went by fast. I probably have post-build bags as well today.
No, I know. Here, let me zoom into my bags here so people can see them. It's pretty bad. I don't know, maybe I should have put some... You know, I'll tell you this, Jeff, because we're friends and everyone else here is friends. They put makeup on me when I do Build. They do. That's why I look so pretty. Speaking of pretty, very pretty is going to be here. I have never made a pretty joke. I'm going to have to tell him and apologize later. All right, so Jeff, here's how it's going to go, if you don't mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a hey, hello, and welcome to the AI show. Here, let me put some music in the background. It feels like it's super sad in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, you're not going to miss this episode of the AI show where Jeff Mendenhall shows us how to be... What's the title here? Okay, I got it. Where Jeff Mendenhall shows us how to reduce time to value with Azure Applied AI Services. You're not going to miss it. And then I'm going to do this little thing here. And then we'll get into it. You good with that?
Absolutely.
All right, and chat. I don't think Jeff's been on before. You've never been on, right, Jeff?
No, I haven't.
So let's show him some love also so that he knows that he's very welcome here. We've got a lot of good people that show up. They're super nice. And Kevin says, yes, indeed, it is corgi power. Do you know how I know it's a corgi, Kevin? Jeff, I'm going to be embarrassed here for a second. One of our pandemic pastimes now, me and my wife, is we watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. No, we do. There's some drama in there. And Lisa Vanderpump loves her puppies. Oh, yeah. You know Jeff. Okay, so
I'm familiar with this.
This is a shared embarrassment that we have together.
The Tom Tom Club. You know, I've never heard of it.
Beldatha says some Jeff love, also corgi power. Okay, all right. We should probably do some work now because there's marketing is watching and they're going to be like, "Look, Seth, we pay you the medium to small dollars to get this content out. So let's do it." All right, here we go. Also, if you're on Learn TV, make sure to give us a shout out, or if you have any questions, just pass them into the chat and we'll get to them right after we do the show. Are you ready, Jeff?
I am. Let's go.
Here we go. All right. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Jeff Mendenhall shows us how to reduce time to value with Azure. I messed up. I already messed up. Oh, no. Oh, I have to put my thing. I already messed up. Here's my sad trombone. I know. Here we go. This is going to be a good one. All right, here we go. Hey, Aravind. I'm already getting the side eye from the Microsoft developer. This is going well. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Jeff Mendenhall shows us how to reduce time to value with Azure Applied AI Services. Make sure you tune in. Hello, my friends, and welcome to this episode of the AI show where we're talking all about, let me put the title up here so you can see it. We're talking about reduce time to value with Azure Applied AI Services with Jeff Mendenhall. How you doing, Jeff? Tell us who you are and what you do, bud.
I'm doing great. Thanks, Seth. Well, great to be here, and thanks for having me on. I'm Jeff Mendenhall. I'm the principal PM on Azure Applied AI Services and Decision AI, which is really about applying AI to different business problems.
This is cool. So look, I'll be honest with you because I try to be honest. There's so many cognitive services that sometimes I feel like I'm getting lost. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. You know, we heard the exact same thing from our customers. And so that's why we created this new category called Azure Applied AI Services, because as you're looking at different facets of what you want to solve for your company, if I want to solve a video problem, hey, I could go look at the vision pillar within Cog Services. But if you want a specific scenario, I want to analyze video in streaming in real time to do something with it, I have Azure Video Analyzer now. If I wanted to make a decision in monitoring our metrics, I have Azure Metrics Advisor to tell me what to do, who to notify when something happens. Conversation, I've got Azure Bot Service. You're going to hear from Gary a little more about that later. Documents, I'm going to talk Azure Form Recognizer. How can I simplify this? Azure Cognitive Search, same thing for search and knowledge capabilities. And then for this great category for inclusion and accessibility, we have Azure Immersive Reader, which is going to help folks be able to read with any kind of ability they have.
So this feels like awesome solutions, but can people still go granular with cognitive services?
Absolutely. So I think, one of the key things we looked at is, start at the top and make it as easy as possible. So if you think of Azure Applied AI Services, if they already solve the scenario you want, again, it drops it down from months to days of development. So we solve these scenarios super quick. But if it doesn't solve your scenario, then you drop down and take the great AI models in Azure Cognitive Services, which, by the way, Azure Applied AI Services are built each one on one or more of those services. And again, just like if those didn't work and I'm a data scientist and I really want to go deep, I go to Azure Machine Learning.
I see. So it's like a tiered approach. If you have something you're trying to solve, the Azure Applied AI Services are your best bet. If you're looking to go more granular, you can go down this stack, so to speak.
Absolutely, yeah. Our goal is how do we make it as easy as possible? So the higher in the stack you are, the quicker time to value that it will be.
So can you dive into specific scenarios to drive this point home a little bit more?
Absolutely. Let me go and pick apart a little bit on Form Recognizer. So if you think about that concept of, hey, if I have Azure Cognitive Services, OCR is one of the AI models within Vision. So if you think about, hey, if I want to take an image or a document, I pass it through the OCR model, it's going to tell me what's on that picture of that document. And then I've got to go do something with that. And what we really wanted to solve here was, hey, a lot of companies are writing all of the orchestration and specific document models around OCR and doing it again and again. And we're like, these are common problems most companies face. Why don't we just go solve that for them? And that's sort of one of the genesis. So if you think about it, not only do we take the documents and forms in, hey, we still run it through that great OCR model, but we also add on top of it pre-built models. So if you have a government ID, you have an invoice, you have receipts and other categories, it'll automatically detect what those are, pre-label it, and then format it out so that you have true understanding. And then we wrap it all in a nice UI. So you don't even have to drop down into code much. You can stay at the UI level. And again, months of development to reorchestrate that to days.
That's really cool because it's reminiscent of what we always have done in programming. We build little building blocks to make bigger solutions. And sometimes we just want the solution and not necessarily the little building blocks. This is really cool.
Right. It's the maturation of AI, I think.
This is cool. So let's talk specifically. Microsoft Build just recently happened. Is there anything new from Build?
There's a couple of key things we're releasing. One is the preview of Azure Video Analyzer. So think about, I've got video streams I could send in, but I really want to do something with it. So if you take this example, and this is one of our great partners, Zero G did with Lufthansa, which allows you to understand, hey, planes land at the gate quite often. And there's a huge problem. Think of like a NASCAR race. They want to be so efficient on the plane comes in. I want the folks to get the baggage on and off. I want the old food carts on and the new ones on. I want everything orchestrated perfectly. This will detect, hey, when does the fuel truck come and go? When does the food cart come and go? So you can tune it, and better yet, you have the insight and analytics afterwards to understand where can I improve and where am I missing my SLAs. Huge value problem. One of the other airlines estimated $100 million a year just for their airline to be able to make this more efficient.
This
incredible
is
value.
Really cool because I'm seeing all the pieces of AI together, right? Because you might be seeing some text in there, you might be seeing some other things in there, which is actually really cool. Okay, so is there anything else new from Microsoft Build?
Of course. Would I disappoint you, Seth?
No.
We also have Azure Metrics Advisor, and it's going GA. So it's really about, if you thought before about using Anomaly Detector as a core service, this again brings it up. I have an easy UI to go do it.
Looks like we got a pause right there. It looks like you got Get Groceries on your
That's not
screen.
me. That is not my screen.
Oh, whose screen is that? Oh my goodness. Is that?
I don't think.
That's not me.
Never mind. That is me.
I closed my Outlook. So we're going to have to go back a couple if that's okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me kill Outlook. I thought I had that taken care of.
No, it's not your problem. Go back one more slide. Go back one more. Go back one, and then just start clean on we'll do the video one again.
Okay.
There you go.
Let me see. It's not coming up on mine.
Let's see here. Let's get it in there, buddy.
Let's go. There we go.
There it is. Okay. So
let's
go. Let's just start clean for them. So just go Azure Video Analyzer, and then I'll cut to that. Okay. Go.
So adding Video Analyzer, think of the capability of what you can do with streaming data. So think of what airlines go through. There's so many planes that land at gates every day. Think of the accumulation of those events over the course of the year. Think of it, what airlines really want is kind of like a NASCAR experience where they can fine tune and tweak how quickly can the plane land, how quickly can I turn it around and get it back in the air. And so we really looked at that. One of the airlines, it's determined that this was $100 million a year problem or opportunity if they could make this more efficient. So our great partner Zero G with Lufthansa created this portal that'll tell you when the plane lands, hey, when does the fuel truck come up? When does the baggage cart come to take the baggage off and the new one come to take it on? And it will do it in SLA. So if you look at the chart on the right here, hey, that'll actually time the event. So later, thousands of flights a day, it'll tell you the inside of how did I perform? Where do I need to put my investment or time to make this operation better? Huge opportunity. Think of any operation where you have a lot of streaming data that you want to make a more optimal experience for your company.
I mean, this is really cool because I can see all the little bits and pieces of AI. Like, for example, there might be text on there. There might be motion. There might be people. It might be. It's really cool to see the foundational blocks in there. Is there anything else that's new from Build?
Oh, absolutely. Would I disappoint you, Seth? Of course, I've got something else for you. Metrics Advisor also went GA at Build this week, and think of what you can do. So instead of just having a tool that tells you these are all the great anomalies that you need to understand and do something with, what we did was wrap that again with specific models on top of what Anomaly Detector does, and created a great portal experience too. So you can not only see, hey, here's the anomalies that happen, but in these ranges, who should know? Who should I notify that they need to go do something? Whether I send it to DevOps, whether I send it to your email, I can now notify people and then tune and tweak this throughout the process. So I understand how my company, my line, my satellites, whatever it is I'm monitoring, I can have this great experience and understand visually what's going on.
I mean, this is awesome. I saw a little bit of this a couple of months ago. But the amazingness of it is it's pretty cool. And now, for example, you can test multiple variables. You can see, where it's coming from. It's actually really, really cool stuff. Okay, so here's another question. I'm hoping maybe you have some answers to it. Is anyone using these services to great effect?
They are. One of the cool things we did with Bot Service is how do you create a brand's experience? How do you carry that through a chat bot or experience for your customers as well? So, Azure Bot Service was able to recreate flow as a bot with a personality. You can do it with a voice. And so all of these aspects carry Progressive's brand on through that. And again, because this was done with an Azure Applied AI Service, it was done very quickly because it was able to orchestrate 3 to 4 different cognitive services and Azure Communication Service together in one package. Just incredibly great way to do it. And again, in a UI portal experience.
That's cool. Anybody else?
Yeah. We also have, Chevron, who was able to, with Form Recognizer, again, think of all of the different oil wells out there, and they do manual documentation with engineers in the field to determine what's going on. Think of all those forms and different handwriting styles and different way people address things across the world, and again, save hours, hundreds and thousands of hours, and able to transcribe, look at what the forms are, extract the intelligence, and put it in an insightable format that Chevron can use. It's just incredible. We're seeing huge lift in a ton of customers with these.
This is really cool. So if you could summarize for everybody, how would you describe Azure AI Applied Services?
I think it's really, how can I immediately take and update my business processes so that they incorporate artificial intelligence in days of work? all I need is a developer. I do not need someone with data science or deep machine learning expertise, so that we've abstracted that all away so you can quickly get to every developer's access to these kind of tools and really help your business grow and expand by taking advantage.
I love it. Where can people go to find out more?
Oh, you can go to right here. Look at that great.
Put it on there for you, man. I'm loving it.
Thank you. AKAMS AI Show Applied AI Services, or obviously the Azure Applied AI Services will work as well. If you can see the documentation of all of these and flow through, and so it's we released them on it build, so we're excited to see the uptake coming up.
Well, Jeff, it's been a pleasure being with you. My friends, thank you so much for watching. We're learning all about how to reduce time to value using Azure Applied AI Services with Jeff at Mendenhall. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care.
All right.
All right. We did it. That was the first one. Right. There's questions. I think we have time for questions. Let me see my rundown. Yes. We've got time for questions, Jeff. What do people say? Here we go. Can someone tell me what this video is about? Yes, Adnan. We are talking about some cool AI services that Microsoft just released or mentioned or talked about 2 days ago at their first-party build conference. Oh, look, Kevin's so helpful. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Here's Tina saying, Lufthansa analyzing stream video to understand how they can improve it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right.
Moving parts. Okay, what else we got here? No more questions here. I think it's cool that we're thinking about like actual good use cases. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I think so too. I mean, think of all the different things that businesses do that are common across every industry, and we can go address those and make it so it's so much easier to deploy. I think that's the key here.
Like for me, the aha moment that I had was with Form Recognizer. And sorry, I'm pulling up the Learn TV chat here. The Form Recognizer was the one that was probably the most interesting to me when I first saw it, because literally, like, we do OCR to understand parts of a document sometimes. Right. And then later on, we do Translator. There's some good stuff in there. It looks like Kevin has a question here. Hey, Jeff. Is there a way to take the work put into AI services and expand it into Azure machine learning? For example, if I build a model applied and an applied AI service, can I customize it later if needed AML? Tell us about that slider a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you think about the different levels that the layer cake, there are certain services today, like Azure Video Analyzer, where you can do the inverse of what I think the question is you can create a model in AML and import it and bring your own model into Azure Video Analyzer and take advantage of it there. Today, we currently don't export models from the services themselves back into AML.
Yeah, the only one that kind of does that is Custom Vision, where you can download like the actual trained model, and then you can do extra stuff with it. But yeah, that's a very good question, Kevin. These models are lovingly and carefully and ethically put together by the cognitive services people, and they update these things all the time. I don't even know. Like they do such amazing work with that. All right, Jeff, any parting words for our friends?
I think just really, thank you again for having me on. Thanks everyone for the great questions and involvement. And hey, look forward to continued questions and input. And feel free to visit the Azure Applied AI Services pages.
Ooh, let me bring it up.
Nice.
There's one, and there's two. I put them in. I have to put the next show's ones in there too. People get to watch me do that. So there's one, and there's two. All right, Jeff, you're the best. Thanks, bud.
All right, thanks, Seth. Have a great day.
Bye. All right, friends. How was that for show number 1? The show within a show, shows within a show, showception. We talked to Jeff how to reduce time to value using Azure Applied AI Services. I think it was fantastic. Next up, in about 5 minutes, we have what's new with text analytics for health with Ashley. I'm going to bring Ashley up. You ready, Ashley? What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you, Seth?
It's good to see you again, my friend.
Same here.
Do you have your screen ready?
I certainly do.
All right, let's get that up. Let's get that up and going for people. By the way, Ashley, it's good to see you again, bud. How'd you enjoy your build?
Very well. It was very exciting times to hear about the new services coming up. I'm sorry, I had a little bit of a frog in my throat there today.
Oh no! Well, you got to stop eating frogs, Ashley. No, true story, Ashley. One time, in the United States, there's this group of boy things called Boy Scouts. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Boy Scouts. Yes. One time I went Boy Scouting in the Adirondacks in New York. I think it was the Adirondacks, or it was 10 Mile River Boy Scout Camp. I don't know why I'm telling this story, Ashley, but it just reminded me. I was so hungry because, as one is between 12 and 14, super hungry all the time. I literally caught a frog. I kid you not. I made a little fire because I heard you could eat frog legs are good. Yep. I cooked it up and I ate it. You know what it tastes like? Show. Yeah. Do you know what it tasted like?
Like chicken.
He did. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to give you some clapping there because it did indeed taste like chicken. But it was like chicken and fish at the same time. So it was weird like that. All right, is your screen sharing? Where's your screen, buddy?
Let me see.
Let me get your screen up here, boss. There it is. Let's test it super quick. Let's test it. And I gotta get your other thing open. I totally forgot. Oh, I got there's a lot I gotta do. Dang it, Ashley. I got into my story and totally messed everything up. We got that. You have 3 call to actions. Dang, Ashley. Not that one. We did that one before. So let's get in there. Save for that one. Yeah, by the way, I have to recycle this stuff, so that's why I'm doing this. Ashley, tell me about your build. What was your favorite part?
Well, hearing my CVP talk about text analytics for health.
Oh, was that Eric Boyd?
Yes, he did. He is. That's Eric Boyd.
Okay. Well, he's a good dude. Here's there's the title. Here's the link number 1. Here's link number 2. And here's link number 3. Yes. Oh. Did I get it right? Is that link number 3? It is.
Yes.
Cool. So let's make sure we got this going. Looks like you've got the wrong screen. You've got like how
do I switch that over?
So there is display settings at the top. You see right above, there's like show taskbar. There's display settings. Do you see that on the one you're showing me?
Yeah.
I got to open this too. I forgot. I got to open this document here.
I have 2 screens, so that's a problem, I think.
No, I know, but look at just the screen where the background one is. At the top, you'll see show taskbar and you'll see display settings. There you go.
Sorry.
Here we go.
This one?
Oh, now it's not showing me the right thing. Oof. We got this. We'll get it. All right, there's text analytics for health. I got my doc open. For those that are wondering, we prepare a little bit beforehand because we don't want to look like complete idiots. At least my guests don't. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get your slide up, buddy. All right. Let's see. I'm late, but you missed the frog story. That's right. Ivana, I told everyone about that time I was so hungry as a Boy Scout, which is a youth group for boys in the United States. I was so hungry I caught and ate a frog. Cooked it myself. All right, boss. Let's share your screen. And then make sure to select the right one, and then we'll get a started.
I'm trying to, let's see. There we go. But I can't see the other screen.
It's okay. You're going to get this. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. So far, we're kind of running on time, which is great. No, Ivana's like, oh my goodness, poor frog. No, I was hungry. No, see, you still got the wrong one on the screen.
Okay, I'll try again. Okay,
here we
get this other one going.
No, I was hungry, Ivana. We need music. Yeah, here we go. It's my old school. Janny Sku is with me. He's like, you know what? It's all good. I mean, nobody's like when you're eating that hamburger thinking, that poor cow. Or a chicken. Like, that chicken had a lot to live for, Seth, and you're eating it. In the United States, we have a store called Costco, and they sell these rotisserie chickens. And
how about that?
All right, here we go. That's it.
Yep.
I got to finish the story now because I feel like I started it. And you know what, Ashley? You got to give the people what they want.
Yep.
And so anytime it's like, it's like, we're just going to have a Costco chicken tonight. That basically means as parents, we gave up. We're just going to have a Costco chicken. We throw it in the bucket and say, kids, go out back and have the Costco chicken. I'm a little extra loopy, Ashley, because it's been a long week. As you know.
Yeah, it has been for most of us. Yeah.
For you too, buddy.
Yep.
All right. We should probably get to work. Ivana's like, at least tell me you ate the frog inside a taco. No. Literally, I ripped the legs off. This is getting a little graphic. I ripped the legs off. I kid you not. I put it over a fire, and then I just... That was disturbing. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. I had to see it. Now, Ashley's not going to be my friend. Like, whenever we go back to the office before the pandemic kind of thing, he's going to be like, I'm not sitting with you, Seth. You ate a frog. Yeah. All right, you ready, buddy? All right, So let me get this ready. This is the title here. What's new for text analytics for health? I'm going to take the GA off. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yes. Let me do that. Hide here. And everyone, by the way, it's like you're like the studio audience. Later we release these and you're going to see them all sanitized. There's going to be no frog story. None. All righty. Are you ready, my friend? I think I've got everything ready.
Is I
you ready?
Yes.
All right. So let me get the title up. Oh, push the wrong button. Let me get the title up. And all right, let's do this. You're not going to want to miss this next. Messed up already. Here we go. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Ashley tells us again. Not again. You're not telling us. What's wrong with me? All right, here we go. This is the one. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Ashley tells us all about what's new in text analytics.
I'm sorry, Seth. I tried to throw you off with a frog story.
Here we go. Okay, I got to turn the fan. I have a fan here because it heat up. Here we go. All right, here we go. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Ashley talks about what's new in text analytics for health. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI show where Ashley's going to talk about what's new for text analytics for health. Ashley, how you doing, my friend? It's been a little bit.
I'm well. How about you?
Great. So for people that don't know, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Ashley Yo. I am a program manager in the text analytics side of cognitive services. Text analytics is a service where we use natural language processing techniques to process unstructured text for several different features such as sentiment analysis, name entity recognition, language detection, and of course, key phrase extraction.
Awesome. So last time we chatted a little bit about text analytics for health. Can you give people a little bit of a recap about what it is, a reminder of the service, and maybe a recap of what's new since build?
Sure. Text Analytics for Health is one of the new features that we will be GAing in June, about a month from now. It is one of the features that will use 4 different natural language processing techniques to process or extract insights from unstructured text, such as the doctor's notes, discharge summaries, lab reports, clinical documents, as well as electronic health records. The 4 techniques that is available in the Text Analytics for Health is name entity recognition, entity linking. We have relation extraction, as well as assertion detection. What's new has been is that we have almost doubled the number of entities that we recognize, as well as the relation that we extract.
I mean, this is amazing, because like it feels like we're aggregating a bunch of things now to solve a very important problem.
It sure is. Every year, the medical segment generates over 4 trillion bytes of document data that we need to process. And as you've seen from the last year during the pandemic, we realized that there was a lot of stress and undue load on our healthcare providers. So through having to document every single encounter. So using these NLP techniques, we are hoping that we can reduce, and we have seen some reduction in the necessary workload of our healthcare providers, thereby increasing the quality of care to those who really need the care.
I mean, this is cool. Can you visualize a little bit, help us understand what it's actually doing?
Sure. Let me just go through what the service is available, and then I can
Let's do it.
talk a little bit. Yeah. So Text Analytics for Health is a single API call that will return 4 different results that we just listed on the screen here. And today is available as a downloadable container that you can download and run in your own in your own environment. Then it is a synchronous operation. But also today we make it available through a web app API. It's available in all regions today, and has all the goodness of Azure with all the compliance and security and privacy, the privacy policies that put available for our web services. Again, this is currently only available for English text, but we have with customers who have been using Translator to help to have a stopgap for the text that we don't support today, and they've seen very satisfactory results. So today, let me just show you in the container. We have we've added an application to help visualize the output.
That's cool. And what's cool is, as you're bringing this up, I love the idea of there being a container, because sometimes a container that's run on premises, because sometimes there's sensitive data on there, and there's regulations that people need to look out for. Is that what everyone was thinking about when they made this?
Yes. In fact, container was the first version of Text Analytics for Health that we released over almost a year ago, and it's been a great hit with the customers. And then they asked us to put on this demo UI to help them do very quick evaluation of the data they have, being able to see kind of results we get. So you can see on the screen here, it visualizes the entities that we detect and assign them to the different categories. For instance, like you see some of the age in there, you have someone with a diagnosis, and also link them to very important concepts or ontologies. And that those are linking and identifying those codes is really very critical to ensuring accuracy in billing, as well as being able to do the definition that's shared between different healthcare professionals, such as when you are being referred to another specialist, they need to know what's in the notes, and they're all talking about the same thing. So linking is really key in making sure that everybody speaks the same language. Again, we also have assertion. Assertion is also something that we need to make sure that the entities we detected are they hypothetical or are they negated, so that you don't assign the wrong kind of categories for the symptom to the patient. So what you see here is a visualization. I can actually do a demo if you like.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Like, I love the visualization, but there's probably programmers here watching. I want to make sure that they can see what is it that you're sending and what is it that you're getting back. Do you have time to show us that?
Yes, absolutely. Let me find my screen here. Is my screen up?
I do not see it. You probably have to move it over to the other one.
I do.
Yeah, I only see the slide.
How about this?
Let's take a look. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go.
Nope.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, interesting.
Is it not letting you share the screen? This is the best part, everybody. Oh, here we go.
Yep. I got it.
All right,
I got a hang of this.
Hold on. If you could control plus like 2 times, control plus. Just to make it a little bit bigger. There you go. There you go. All right. And then what I want you to do is, and I want you to say, so what you see here, and then that way we can cut right to this.
What you see here is of a Visual Studio Code representation of something I put together through a Python code. It is a simple Python using Python code to invoke the request library that will allow us to make a simple REST API call to a local endpoint that I've deployed on Azure web apps, web for containers.
That's cool.
So you can see that using this API, using this request library, I'm able to define the endpoint and then provide it with a sample text here that we can then just simply construct the call request to the endpoint. And I'll let me see if I can show it run. Hopefully it will run.
We'll give it a second.
Yes.
Here it goes. Wow.
So as you can see, it returns a JSON object. You can have the output is vast because there's a lot of information behind it. And remember, one entity that you get for each entity it detects that has a related ontology link to it. You will assign all the ontologies for that.
That's cool. That's cool. So that's a cool REST example. Do you have any other examples?
Sure. We also have, thanks to Visual Studio Code extension for Jupyter notebooks, we also have ability to do a notebook run here. So I have a set of simple notebook that will use pandas for data for visualizing the data, the output that comes back from the endpoint. Here is again, this call is to a local container instance that I have on my workstation in the office. I will run this. And you can see the similar kind of output that comes back to a JSON output. And here, using the data, using the pandas library, we can actually visualize this output. And here, I want to look at all the entities that are being extracted. You can see the nice data in the table form of all the different entities and the category associated with them, as well as the links, as opposed to being a blob of JSON text. And if I want to continue to look into a particular category, let me go here. For instance, I want to just only look at those with diagnosis. I will find only those that have diagnosis in here. So this is the beauty of Jupyter Notebooks as well. So you don't have to recreate the whole visualization of the data, but you have this data frame they can then use, and you overlay it with a UI. You can only extract the certain areas, certain categories that will be important from the notes for a specialist or any person who's providing care to then look in this. For instance, like here, we can look at the relationships as well, and relationships are key to looking at where the time of medication, the dosage of medication. So those things are already inside the JSON object, but through this data frame, you can actually slice and dice a little bit more.
That's super cool. So you showed us a REST call, which feels like you're just going like the bare metal to the. You showed us using a notebook with Pandas data frame, which is nice. Do people have the option of just doing like a coded type of thing as well?
Absolutely, we do have an SDK that we provide, and again, I'm using a Python SDK. The latest version is 5.1.0 B7. This is the one that will support what we have in the latest review version. And then wait for the GA in a month, we'll have a GA version of the SDK. In here, we have all the different methods and libraries that we incur that we can call. So using this SDK, we can provide a client to authenticate your credentials. Again, you do need a text analytic resource that you can get, we create through your portal. Make sure you get the key and make sure you get the endpoint. Once you have that, you can then construct using this SDK, provide it with your text that you want to process, and then make the call. Again, please note that through the hosted web API, it is an asynchronous call. Maybe I didn't mention it early on. It's asynchronous in the sense you can send a lot of data to it, a lot more than you can process through the container. And in that way, because you send to it, it's asynchronous. You can come back and get the results later on. So this is what this SDK provides. And I can run this again. We will show that the two calls, the post and the get, through a single method here to begin analyze healthcare entities.
Let's do it. There it goes.
It's asynchronous. You post, and it waits for the results to get done, and then do a get and check the status for succeed. It succeeded. It will then print, and it will see these results. And it will come back. I hope he doesn't not too busy today, but there we go.
There it is. That's cool.
And this is how we can programmatically handle the call as well as the response. And then you can then structure the response any way you want through this SDK.
I mean, this is all really cool stuff. Where can people go to find out more about this? Because this is really cool.
You can have the link that you show up right now, which I can't really see.
There you go. Text Analytics for Health how-to. Wonderful.
Yep.
And then we have another link in here, Text Analytics, a sample as well. Tell us about the sample. Is that the one you're just showing us?
Yes, it is. This is a sample I just showed you through the SDK. And those are all been certified to run.
Fantastic. And looks like there's a tech community blog post as well that you can take a look at. Well, Ashley, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for showing us a little bit about what's new with Text Analytics for Health. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. This has been another episode of the AI Show. We're learning about, again, what's new in Text Analytics for Health. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, we'll see you next time. Take care, my friends. Ashley, we did it. All right, let's see what the questions are. Let's see what the questions are. There's people. Here we go. So Beldathas did ask about, do you support languages other than English? Yeah, I mean, you could use the translator API, I'm guessing,
absolutely,
in conjunction with this to do that, right?
Yes, we actually have several customers who've used it, and they've got really outstanding results.
Fantastic. Let's see. Another one. Here it is. From Kevin, is there any issue running multiple containers on-prem with Kubernetes?
Multiple multiple instances of the same container? No.
Yes. No, you can run as many as you want.
We actually have evidence of somebody who ran 90 instances of Kubernetes to process 300 million documents.
What? That's amazing. See, studio audience is getting like the extra deets. That's awesome. That's really cool because, like, I imagine like the first time people using this service are like, holy cow, I can do what? Let's run all the stuff to it. And so 98 containers running all that. Good question. Here we go. Let's see. Which language? Here's one. And I don't know if you can respond. Just curious, what kind of ML models is used behind the scenes? And then is there a public? How do we build these things? Is my question to you.
Yeah, the most outstanding research teams in Microsoft Research started with public data sets. Public data sets like Mimic, ICB2. A few of those public data sets were used in competitions, and they start training using those data to train with some of our state-of-the-art technology that we have, frameworks. But then, of course, we do have a proprietary data sets that we secure and acquire, and then we use subject matter experts like doctors, nurse practitioners, surgeons to label those data sets so we can get the kind of a high quality output that you see.
I muted myself for a second. And that's actually really cool because we don't use customer data to build any of our models in cognitive services.
No, we don't.
Because that's not cool. And
no,
it's probably against the law, actually, if we think about it. So, Ashley, this is awesome. You're the man. Thanks for coming on again, my friend.
You're very welcome. Happy to be here.
All right, we'll see you next time. All right. We are down to, looks like Krishna is next. What's up, buddy? I can't hear you.
Hi, Seth.
Now I can
again. Yeah.
Oh, geez. By the way, friends, Krishna was he was the first guest on our very first live AI show. Remember that, Krishna?
Yeah, that was awesome experience.
Still recovering, apparently. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see if you're. Let's see. Let me. I got to do all the things here because I got to change all the banners out. So how you doing? How was build for you, bud?
Yeah, it was very exciting and it's so tiring.
Yes. Yes. I remember that being tiring. All right, let me get this in here. For folks wondering what I'm doing, so basically, the way it usually works is I put titles in so people can see what's going on. And so right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting the actual title of this episode, which is this one, and then we have a call to action. That's the right one. Yes. The other thing is let me get my doc open here for you, buddy. Stand by. So I got that one open. So let's close this. Oh, we just put 2 in the can. Now it's time for show number 3. This one is cool. Because the way that you do the stuff in the doc to me is super cool. So I'm excited about that myself. Let me get this here and let me move this here. So just a couple of things. Always look at your camera directly unless you're looking at your screen for stuff. Let me get your screen on, see if we got this going here. Yes, it looks glorious. Glorious. Okay, a couple of tips. As you know, just look straight at the screen when you're talking to me. Otherwise, look straight at the camera when you're talking to me. If you want anything to say, stop talking. And I think that's it. You're a pro. Let me get the banner here. And then, folks, get your questions ready for Krishna because this stuff is delicious. Look at Kevin. He's like, welcome back, Krishna. Yes.
Yeah. Welcome.
All right. Okay. So let me turn this down. You ready to go, my friend?
Yes.
All righty. Let me get my fingers ready. Let's pay the bills. All right. Here we go. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show where Krishna talks about translating documents at scale and even preserving formatting. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show. We're talking all about translating documents at scale and preserving formatting with Azure Translator. Krishna, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back.
Thanks, Ed. Glad to be part of your show again.
Fantastic. So tell us who you are and what you do for those that haven't met you yet.
Yeah, I'm Krishna. I am the principal program manager for Translator service. I own the service, so any good stuff you see in Translator and credits goes to my team, and any bad stuff, blame it on me.
Awesome. So let's talk about document translation. What is it? What's new since we last chatted?
Yes. Before I jump to what's new, I would just like to introduce what we did in the Build conference. In the Build conference, we announced general availability of document translation feature, which translates documents in a minute. Document translation enables user to translate volumes of large documents in variety of file formats easily into single or multiple target languages, preserving the layout and structure as in the original file format. Do you have a documents in mixed language? No problem. Document translation would automatically detect the languages in the document and get it translated for you. You could also translate a single document into multiple languages in a single request. You could also bring your own translation memory, which you have built over a period of time, and build custom models and use it to translate documents. Or if you have a simple problem, just create a simple custom glossary and apply it during document translation.
I mean, this is really cool. It's literally the Swiss Army knife of translating stuff, but in situ, meaning in the actual document itself. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Well, here's a question. I mean, how do you prioritize the features that you build? I didn't ask you that last time, but maybe you can help us out this time.
Yeah, sure. I would say the document translation is an outcome of co-creation by customers actively participating in our private preview and public preview programs. We have been working with our partners for more than 6 months. Our partners showed tremendous confidence on us as the product evolved, addressing their needs. They provided us insights on the use case scenarios, which helped us to tune the product. I would like to take this opportunity to take our partners who helped us to build this solution.
That's cool.
For example, if you want to say which file format we support, limits on the service, optimal time to translate documents, or direct outcome of our customer needs. In the slide, I have listed on few functionalities which are added primarily to support specific customer use case scenarios. Ability to translate multilingual document. We didn't have that prior to the preview. We added it now. Secure access to storage by enabling managed identity and establishing trust between translator and storage resources. This is one of the top asks from the enterprise customers. Support AID-based authentication, which enables enterprise to roll out document translation capability in their own apps so that they can control which employee can use the app and not. We won't stop here. We have a huge backlog to enhance the document translation offering further, more in coming days.
I mean, this is cool. I love the idea of building a service that customers want, right? This is
Yes.
I mean, it feels like the right thing to do. So I have a
And
question.
interesting.
What's that?
Interestingly, Seth, the customer was giving very active feedback during the development and telling us, "Hey, this is what we want. You fix it," and it's so amazing.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. Is there? Can you show us how this works?
Sure. The flow is simple. So all you need to do is upload the source document into a container and then make a request to our service. And the service pulls the document from the Azure Blob Storage and it returns an ID and use this ID to pull the documents, pull the status for the service. And once the document translation completes the translation, it puts back the translated document into the container and you can pull it and use it. And this all happens in Ziffy. And the service comes with few operations. There are few get operations which will provide the capabilities of the service, like what are the document formats supported, glossary format supported, and a single post operation to start the translation, and bunch of get operations which shows you the status at different levels, either at the document level or the job level.
Right. And this is cool. And what is it? Can I see like what do the requests look like?
Oh, it's a simple request. So if you want to translate all documents, all you just need in three values to be passed to the request: the source URL, target URL, and the target language, and that's it. And if you want to translate a specific file, all you provide is a storage type file, and then we recognize, hey, this is a file, and then we translate the file. And it doesn't stop here. There are much more optional parameters like translating using a custom translation model. You can pass on the custom translation ID. And if you want to translate using glossaries, you can pass on the glossaries. And if you want to translate a particular folder within a container, then you can have filters to go more deep into it.
This is really cool. And now the part that I like the most is that you're actually doing the translation, but inside of the document with the same format. Is that right?
Absolutely. So see here. So look at the source and translated document. You could see how well the structure and layout are retained in the translated document, including the column layouts, font styling, font color, tables, etc.
I mean, this is cool. Can you show this working in a live setting?
Yes, it's my pleasure to do that. And so here is a client app which we built using the document translation API. I would be translating a Word document and a PowerPoint to demonstrate, hey, we will be able to translate multiple file formats. And then I'm going to store it in the AI show folder. So it's empty, just for the record. And then I say translate documents. And the app uploaded the document to the blob storage, and then it's polling for the status, and then the translation started. And
Yeah,
zoom,
this is cool. So it's that whole process.
it's
You're
all completed. It's all
Oh
completed.
wow! I was trying to talk and it's already done. So this whole process, it uploads it to the blob. The service goes ahead and does a translation. It puts it in the blob, and then you download it. Let's see what's in the docs.
Exactly. So let me show that. So it's open in my other machine. So this is what it translated.
Oh my goodness! And this is literally the slides that we're looking at, right?
Yeah, a version of the slide. Only the color styling is different.
That is so cool.
And the other file is the Word document, which I had in the.
Oh my goodness.
So you could see a Word document, a PowerPoint, and it's all got translated in few seconds, and preserving the layout and structure. And the goodness is this client app, we would be soon putting it in the GitHub as open source, so that the developers can pick it up and enhance it further. And not only that, we do provide code samples in popular languages, and also providing SDK in Python and .NET.
That's cool. So that's what you're showing, the developer experience slide. There's code samples, there's C# API, there's Python, Java, JavaScript, and Go to do all this. This is cool. And then the other thing that I like about it is that you have it. Tell us about the SDKs.
Okay, so the SDKs right now we have in Python and .NET. These are in beta stage, and in a couple of weeks we plan to release it to production, and so you all can play with it. Awesome.
So where can people go to find out more? I'm sure you got a ton of information that people can use.
Yes.
There it is.
There's it is. It's a huge list, and the documentation for all translator offerings. You can go here. We have text translation, document translation, how to build custom translator, all over here. And we have the Python kit and .NET kit. And the coolness is we don't persist any of the customer data used for translation. So we have a stringent requirement on the translator follows no trace policy, and you can find more details over here.
That's amazing. So the documents, it's basically translate, send it back, eyes off. We don't know what it is.
Yep.
That is amazing. I'll put a little link here for people that would like to find out more, not just the stuff that you just saw. Let me get these links up here so people can look at them. Ton of good information. Krishna, thank you so much for spending some time with us, my friend.
Thanks, Abe.
Awesome. Well, you've been learning all about translate documents, how to translate documents at scale and preserve formatting with Azure Translator. It's been a joy to be with you. Hopefully, we'll see you next time. Take care, my friends. Krishna, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Huge fan of this stuff. Just the fact that I don't have to because usually we like OCR the stuff and we get these like weird text files. No, none of that. Not with Krishna's stuff. Let's see. Beldathas is saying this is so cool. It is. I think it's cool. By the way, let's see how am I doing on time here. We're having bots coming up next at 12:10. So we've got some time. We've got some time to answer questions. Here's a question from Adnan. Hi, Krishna. What is the main challenge in retaining structure and layout while document translation? Is there can you give us some visibility into how you do it a little bit, or just what can you tell us about that?
So retaining the layout and structure is still, it's not going to be 100% because there's going to be inherent challenges for different languages. For example, if you take a phrase is going to be of so and so length in English, and when you translate into German, it's going to be much lengthier. And say if you translate into Chinese, it's going to be much smaller. and there are going to be such challenges over there. And apart from that, the file formats like Office or thing has hint about the layout and format structuring. It's pretty easier to do it. And the big challenge is on the PDF. So PDF is a very tough to crack because there are different ways the user can construct the same text. And so that's where we keep learning, and we still have a bunch of challenges on PDF, and we are improving on that.
Yeah, but the fact that I don't have to do that is legit amazing. And by the way, German is very long. It's an agglutinative language. And then Chinese characters say a lot more in a smaller space. So I told it, like, imagine if you carefully laid out your beautiful word table so that it doesn't have like an extra like line. Well, if it's a different language, it might change that. And I mean, I'm very forgiving of that, Krishna, because now I don't have to do any extra work. Here's another question from this gentleman. Out of curiosity, can you talk about the translator engine tech? Because this is basically using the translation services, right?
So we built translation machine learning models using neural machine learning technique. So we do crawl data from internet repository from the publicly available data, and we do a lot of processing to curate the data, to clean up the data, and to find out, okay, what's the good data, bad data, and then that's a good good chunk of work. So you get the right data and then put it, and then you get the right model. And we do also invest on the low resource language. We use data from what you call a relatively language from the same family. Say, for example, Hindi, Marathi, or the two languages closely related, and you have a data in Hindi, you could use it to build a machine translation model for Marathi language. So those kind of cross learning we do. So I could keep talking about it. There are a bunch of techniques on how do we what we apply and build machine learning models.
Well, Krishna, this has been fantastical. Thank you for being with us, buddy. Is Gary here? He looks like he's coming. So I'm going to say goodbye, Krishna. Hopefully we have you on again, my friend.
Sure. Welcome.
All right, boss. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. We 3 down, 2 to go. We've been learning a bunch of cool tech. By the way, I'm so glad we got to do this because we did not get the time that we needed to talk all about this cool stuff. And speaking of did not get the time, I never have enough time with Gary. What's up? But I'm so sorry I'm keeping you up late. It's got to be like the middle of the night for you, bud.
This is all good. It's the end of a great week, and next week I am on vacation. So this is, this is.
Let's give you some yes, well-earned vacation, Gary. Well done.
Yeah.
I saw your demo in Eric Boyd's talk. Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was a bucket list item for me to tick off to be able to speak and build. It was awesome. It's been a great week.
Well, I am so glad. So what I need to do is I totally forgot because I was so excited to see you. I forgot to change all the titles here. So I got to go over here and change the titles. So tell us about the build, like behind the scenes, building the build demos. Like, what is that like for people that don't know?
Well,
it's different than people think, right?
Yeah, I did not know. So I do, I've been on this show a couple times, and I've built demos for, presentations, and my general style is to come up with some bullet points. I'm going to talk to them. I know roughly how much time I've got, and I'm good, right? And I will ad lib. And then there was the build demo, and marketing are like, okay, so here's the storyboard, and I'm like, okay, so give the feedback, let's change that. And then it's like, right, we need a word for word script with like screenshots for every sentence. Yep. And by the way, you've got this much time. It's not like less, it's not more, it's this much time. But it was so cool. It was such a great experience. And I got to actually go out of the house. I was away for a night for work. I went to our Reading offices and filmed the demo in the studio there. So it was just an all awesome experience. Yeah,
the Reading
great.
offices are beautiful, by the way.
Yes, and they've just been refurbed as well.
What? Because
Yeah.
nobody's there. They're like, we might as well, clean the toilets a little bit, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we get to. I'm hoping I'll be back there in a month or two. But no, it was great. I mean, I won't lie, it was stressful. I like having to stick to a script. It was my first time using an auto prompter, which was like just all new. But
It's awkward, right?
Yeah, yeah, it can be. Yeah, it was. It was good though. I really, really enjoyed it. So.
All right. So
yeah,
go ahead, tell me.
No, I was just going to say it's. I think the best thing about this week was just the fact that we got to show off everything that the team have been doing. It's been very rewarding after 6 long months of delivery. So
yeah, no kidding, and y'all have been busy, right? Because you came on just a couple of weeks ago, and there's still new stuff to talk about as well, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we were getting ready. We were getting ready for the build release a couple of weeks ago, and I think I touched on like a couple of hints about what might be coming, and we touched on it a little bit with telephony. But like, I think now with our build release, we finally got all of the bits out, and it's just come together so nicely as a end-to-end story, and fits really great inside that applied AI category as well, right? The idea that we can get people started. Super quickly.
All right, I love it. I'm ready to go. Let me get the title up. This is the right title, right?
Boom. That is the right title. And Boom. You've got my screen, right? I think. Oh, am I not sharing my screen?
Not yet. And then this is the right.
Let me do that.
This is the right ACA link, correct?
I assume so. That's the one that you set up for us. So as long as it's going to our blog post, then we are good. So. You should have my. Yes.
We are doing it. All right, let me add it to the screen.
Right.
This is the thing we're going to show, right? Oh, yeah, because, I remember. This is all demo all the time.
Yeah, no slides. No slides. My plan is just to walk you through this application, like just touching on the new features.
Old school Gary. Not the new school scripted Gary. Off script Gary.
Yes. Yeah, don't try and put me in a box then.
Nobody puts Gary in a corner. Nobody.
Let me check one thing before we go live. I want to just check that this is still
we're live, but kind of live.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's I don't want to mess up your recording. No, we're all good.
Vacation hype indeed, Beldathas. Yes. Vacation hype.
I'm not going anywhere. But
you have vacation next week, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I'm not going anywhere, but it's the first time I got my first shot 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So it's the first time in like 15, 16 months that we're going to actually go out and eat indoors somewhere. Like everywhere's just started to open, and my son starts daycare next week. So my son and my daughter will both be in daycare, and my wife and I are going to go out and go to cinema, and it's going to be amazing.
I think, like, I want to fly over so we can just say I am tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday, is 2 weeks since my second shot.
Wow, nice.
So my 5G is fully activated tomorrow.
Well, I've got to wait till the end of July for my second shot because we've got like a 3-month gap. So
really?
So that's they've been prioritizing first shots. So we're up to like 74% of the population have their first shot now, and 40% ish have their second shot. So it's been a good rollout. But later in the year, I am hopefully, fingers crossed, everything continues the way it's going. I'll be back in Redmond, last quarter of this year, hopefully, if everything's open. And you and I, my friend, we are going out.
Absolutely, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to sit down, lick all the doorknobs. You know what I'm saying? Just go crazy. Exactly. Yeah. All right, buddy. You ready?
Yeah, I am ready. Let's do this.
Let me see if I got everything going. I surely do. All right. I need to put the bumper and the title buttons closer together. They're like so far apart. I always have to look like a goober. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move it right now. I'm moving it. Gary, you inspired me to be a better person.
There you go.
We did it.
We're going to get together, we're going to drink, and we're going to eat some frogs. That's what we're going to do.
Oh my God. Story?
Yeah,
so
but you know that I heard the weirdest thing earlier today on Twitter, that people in Canada don't know Kermit the Frog as Kermit the Frog. They know him as Green Dennis. And like Miss Piggy has a different name and Gonzo has a different name. Like seriously, I was like, I might get in troll. Like maybe I was, but there was this whole thread. Like
Green Dennis.
Green Dennis.
Hold on, I'm gonna put the sad strings.
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog. Green Dennis?
Green Dennis. Yeah.
No.
Well, I that's what I hear. So maybe someone in the chat knows.
Is there anyone from Canada in the chat that can verify this travesty of nomenclature has been committed in the country of Canada?
Yeah.
Speaking of travesties, I don't have much to say on the United States. We do crazy stuff too. Speaking of,
but yeah, I thought that was strange, right? So,
all right. Well, I actually moved my buttons here, so I can go like this without even trying.
Look at that. I mean, we can start over again and again and again
and again and again. All right, you ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show where Gary Pretty tells us all about how to build Azure. I'm going to do this again. I just totally messed that up. Learn how to build bots with Azure Bot Service, comprehensive development experience. I can read. You can too. Make sure you tune in. All right, here we go. That's going to be funny. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show where Gary Pretty helps us learn how to build bots with Azure Bot Services, comprehensive developer experience. Yes, I can read, and you can too. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show. We're super excited to learn all things bot. Gary, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, thanks, Seth. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure.
Fantastic. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Gary Pretty. I'm a program manager on our conversational AI team. And so our team are responsible for the Bot Framework SDK, Azure Bot Service, and for building chatbots or conversational experiences. And that also supports other experiences at Microsoft, like Power Virtual Agents.
Oh, hey. Now, we last time we had you on, you talked a little bit about telephony. What's new since build? Can you give us like a little bite-sized thing so we can get into it?
Sure, absolutely. So the main goal for build has been to make it so that you can get started faster than ever before. We guide you through the experience of building your conversational app, and then we make it so that you can collaborate with anyone once you've published your bot to Azure.
And this is cool because, listen, this is like we're going off script here, but I emailed Gary like the middle of his night the other last week. I'm like, hey, I need to build a bot, but I don't know how. I'm struggling. And he's like, I can help you with that. Should we just dive in and take a look at how we're doing this?
Let's just do that. And I've even got a small piece of my demo, which is dedicated to your request. So let's do that. Right.
Let's do it.
Right now, I'm in Bot Framework Composer. This is our visual IDE for building conversational experiences, and it sits on top of the Bot Framework SDK. And so everything that you're creating here, you're not making a decision between Visual Designer or code. This is an SDK project under the hood, but you get productivity enhancements because you are able to design your conversation visually. Now, Composer's been around now for around about 12 months in GA. And we've spent the last 6 months really focusing on how do we make sure that this getting started experience, like this 0 to productive path, is as seamless as possible. You know, we're part of the new Applied AI Services, and the goal there within Azure is to make sure that you can get going as quickly as possible and you have the sort of shortest time to value. And so that's exactly what we have aimed for here. So here I am. I've created a brand new bot and a brand new solution inside of Composer, and it's I've got started. Now, previously I'd be like,
let's pause right here. Hit the hide on the StreamYard thing.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
And then just be like, so what I've got here, go ahead.
Yep. So what I've got here is a bot that I've created inside of Composer. I've used one of the new templates, which we can take a look at later. But right now I'm like, okay, well, what do I do next? Well, the first thing I now get presented with once I create a bot is our new rocket ship menu. Now, this is designed to guide me through what are the required steps that I need to take to get started? What are the recommended and the optional next steps when I want to take my bot to the next level? So this will guide you through the how do I connect it to the cognitive services for language understanding? How do I plug in Q&A Maker? How do I publish my bot? And it's going to take you through that process as fast as possible, and also provide you with links out to Microsoft Learn, Microsoft Docs. So it's really straightforward for you to find the information you need to be productive.
It's like Gary in a rocket ship to help us out. Gary is embedded in this bot framework composer. We are blessed.
Yeah, I mean, we got feedback that it was, people loved Composer, but actually the ramp up for getting started was, quite steep for some people who had never hit the platform before. So this was a logical next step, and we're already seeing great feedback from this, which is awesome.
Love it.
Yeah. So the next thing we wanted to do was to make authoring our conversational experiences as easy as possible. And so what we've actually done is we started to think about what type of experiences are people building. And you remember from anybody who saw the last AI show will have seen us talk about telephony. And really our main sort of goal for authoring is to make it as simple as possible for you to build multimodal conversations, rich and engaging, so they can work on text-based canvases like web chat or Microsoft Teams, or even voice-based canvases. So anything from our new preview telephony channel, which you can go and try now for US, through to devices like Google and Amazon Alexa. And so this new authoring editor, or bot response editor, now not only allows me to provide text, but I can also add speech. I can add suggested actions. So these are like the suggestion chips that allow users to just tap to make a choice. And I can even go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to add an attachment. And even then I get templates that I can pick from. So there was a lot of news built around adaptive cards, and you can see here that the use of adaptive cards as part of your bot responses is just baked in. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so previously you would have needed to learn and know this syntax, which is called LG, or language generation syntax. And it's incredibly powerful. There's so much you can do with it, but we've just taken the barrier to entry for understanding how to write more complex responses, and we've just smashed it away, right? It's super intuitive to get started now. That's really cool. Like for me, I looked at like the language generation language, because that feels like what it is, and I was like, wow, you could probably do a lot of stuff, but it feels like I'm learning a new programming language. This makes it a lot easier, I think. Right, exactly, yeah. And I think the thing that we've started to realize is the fact that people use Composer in a number of different ways, right? It's absolutely there to build enterprise-grade production bots. But actually, there's a lot of people out there who are using Composer in the very early stages just to mock up a conversation, to mock up an experience. Exactly. And no longer do they need to sort of make that really simple. It's actually very, very easy to get to a sophisticated experience, even when you're in the early sort of proof of concept stages. So we're really excited about this. The next stage is enhanced testing and debugging tools. So we have something called the Bot Framework Emulator, which is a separate application which I can use to test my bot. And I can open that straight from in here. But it's a separate application, and we always strive to say, okay, how can we make sure we can improve that developer experience and take it to the next level? And so we've added integrated web chat right into Composer, which allows me to actually interact with my bot and actually test it right next to my design canvas. So I can test it, I can go make a change, I can restart my bot, and I can test it again. And alongside that, we've been adding down here, we have what we call the drawer. And we are taking cues from existing developer experiences like Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. And what you'll see here is we've taken all of the richness of the existing emulator experience, where I get an inspector showing me all of the traffic between my user and my bot, all of the actual JSON payloads that are being passed backwards and forwards, and even data about my project building underneath. I said this was a normal SDK project, and it is. So, I've got an output window. This really is now a fully featured developer IDE, and it's only going to get better. So we're really super excited about the new developer experiences inside Composer.
That's really cool. I mean, everyone saw me with my mouth open because, look, I'll be honest, the first time I ever saw this was like 2 years ago. But from where, I don't know, it's 2 years, a year and a half. Last time I traveled somewhere, I don't remember.
Yeah. I was there. I was stood next to you. It was Ignite.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then like up to now, this is really fully featured. What else you got, bud?
Yeah, so let's skip through a couple of things here just so we can make sure we call them out. Another thing that you can do now is we've got a brand new component model, which means that you can extend Composer and extend your bot super quickly using our new packages and components. And so you can see here, and I said I had something for you. I've got a bunch of actions here that are related to Microsoft Teams development. So this is another new thing, right? Significant piece of, a significant new feature for our users, being able to actually build Teams based bots. So everything from message extensions right through to the ability to get info about the team or the channel. So that's, becoming super easy. But that's been made possible by this new package manager. And the new package manager effectively allows you to say, right, we're going to start with a simple bot template, but then you can scroll through all of the available components, and these are all available on day one. Everything that I'm showing you here has been made available in the last couple months, both first party and community. And there's everything in here from the ability to add new actions to your canvas, like Microsoft Teams. There's also a similar package for GitHub. We have handoff capabilities, so I can hand off to live person or even the ServiceNow virtual assistant if I want to do ITSM integration. And so we're super excited about packages. It's super easy for you to create your own and then share them. And actually, they're just published on NuGet and NPM, just like any other package. And you can even add your own private feed for your organization so that you can share packages internally as well.
This is bananas. I mean, this is really cool. I'm a huge fan. I interrupted you, but this is really cool because now you're enabling folks to create specialized functionality that anyone can use, right?
Yes, exactly. And we, we are heavily involved with the Bot Framework Community Project on GitHub. It's something I founded with some other MVPs before I joined Microsoft. And now that I'm inside, we actually curate that community and we push it forward. The engagement so far has been incredible. I want to say thank you to all of our MVPs out there and community members who've been contributing already. And as I said, it allows you to extend your bot in ways that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And one of them is over here on this connections tab. So this is in my bot settings. I'm in connections. So two things to call out here. The first one is I now have the ability, because I've published my bot, I've provisioned all of the Azure resources I need for this bot, and I've published it directly to Azure straight from Composer. I didn't have to go to the Azure portal. I didn't have to create any Azure resources. I provisioned them all from in here, and now I can do one-click publishing, which is just awesome. But beyond that, we now have this connections tab where I can say, okay, I'm going to select my Azure publishing profile, and that's then going to allow me to actually configure some of the channels that are available via Azure Bot Service. So again, coming back to, I built my bot and I want to make it available on Teams. Previously, I'd need to head to the portal, configure the channel there. Now it's a single click. Once I do that, that's going to enable Microsoft Teams for me on my Azure resource. And it's going to give me instructions as to how to install it into Teams, right down to providing me with a Teams app manifest, which I can just take and I can use that to install it using App Studio inside of Teams. Which is just incredible, right? This
is like you were literally, because I'm not kidding. We're not making this up. Part of this is like we have stuff that we're going to talk about. But I literally emailed you, Gary, not 2 weeks ago about I'm having a little frustration, and they just magically built this for me in 2 weeks. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't there, and we just built it just for you. No, no. I mean, it's been incredible reaction from folks. We had some one-to-one customer consultations this week as well, and we've had numerous customers say, "Hey, I'm already started. I'm building solutions with the Teams package. I'm publishing to Teams," and it just gets better. Because you'll see down here that as well as the Microsoft first-party Azure Bot Service items, I've got one here which says Google Actions SDK. And that's because I've pre-installed a package for Google. And so if I head over here, I can even find things like, you can see here, we've got Twilio, Slack, Facebook, WebEx. If I do a quick search in here, you'll see that I can find Alexa as well. So as well as the packages that are available via Azure Bot Service, which there are many. So I can go and enable channels like web chat, Teams, telephony, lots of different channels. I can now extend even further. If Azure Bot Service doesn't support a particular platform, I can go install the package, and if the package doesn't exist, I can write it. And these packages, the Alexa one is something I wrote before I joined, made it available in the community, and now we've seen community members contributing more. Like we have WhatsApp adapters.
Wow.
And as soon as that package is installed, inside the Connections tab, I just need to click Configure. I can jump to find the instructions, which tell me how to configure my Google Action. I then paste in these two values, click OK, and I can immediately test it on a Google device. And the process is just as straightforward for all of our other connections. So we are super excited about making it as easy as possible for you to create your new bot, publish it to Azure, and then connect it to any other platform.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I mean, and this just came out at Build, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So, I mean, we had our Composer version 2. That's the other thing to say, right? There's so many announcements you forget, but this is version 2 of Composer. Way back at Ignite, I think 2019, I think it was. We'd just gone GA with Composer, and this really is a major step forward for us. This is Composer version 2. And alongside all of the features that I've just been showing, we've also been working hard to build pre-built experiences and templates that really lean on all of the experience and best practices that we've been gathering over the last 2, 3, 4 years with customers. We had something called the Virtual Assistant Solution Accelerator, which folks might be familiar with. And we've taken all of the goodness from that and infused it into the SDK, and then used it to build, world-class enterprise-grade templates. And you can see the list here, and this list is going to grow. And we've got C# and Node in preview as well. And I just wanted to sort of finish on one last thing, which is, really make sure I showed this. I've created a bot before we started today using our Enterprise Assistant template. Now, out of the box, this gives me calendar capabilities so that I can schedule, I can ask what's on my agenda, I can book time with other people, everything that you would imagine from a calendar and scheduling bot, right? Okay. It also gives me people search capabilities, all integrated, both of these, with the Microsoft Graph. So not only have our amazing pre-built experiences team created this really in-depth bot for you that is incredibly flexible. It handles disambiguation, it handles interruption, it handles context switching. So this is a great place to look for sort of best practices on how you might build an experience. But not only that, if I jump into one of these items, so here, the Get Direct Reports item, and I jump into the Get Direct Reports dialog, so you can group your conversation into a dialogue. If I click the plus here, and I scroll down to Microsoft Graph, we've even released the package that we have built to connect to the Microsoft Graph. So we now have, just like we've done for Teams and just like the community have done for GitHub, we now have calendar and people related actions which you can use. So let's say you don't want this full experience just yet, but you do want to be able to do some form of calendar or people integration with Graph. You can just install this package. And that's really what we're going for. You can start small. You can start with our Enterprise Assistant. You can use just a piece of it. You can use a whole, part of it. It's really up to you. Start where it makes sense for you and collaborate with anyone. And I think that's really our message. And that again goes back to the demo that I did in Eric Boyd's session at Build. We've not had a chance to really touch on it yet, but our Bot Framework SDK also supports Power Virtual Agents. So as much as today we're focused on Bot Framework Composer and almost like the pro development story, like the awesome IDE that we've got here with all the new features, we have also just gone GA with Composer support for Power Virtual Agents, where you can create a PVA project, which is part of the Power Platform. And then if you need to add some custom capabilities, you can now actually just simply click an Open in Composer button inside of PVA, and that will open Composer. And you can actually make changes in Composer, publish back. And then it goes even further than that, where you can consume an entire bot built with Composer as a skill in PVA, and later this year you'll be able to do it the other way around. So that really, you now hopefully get the idea that it's start where it makes sense for you, whether that's PVA or Bot Framework Composer and the SDK, and then collaborate with anyone, because other people, you could build me a skill for plugging into Azure DevOps. You could build that using PVA or Bot Framework Composer. If I want to add that capability to a bot that I built, I can just consume it in a couple of seconds and plug it in.
That's really cool, and I love the emphasis on the power users, like the Power Virtual Agents back to Composer. That's really, really cool stuff. Where can people go to find out more, Gary?
Yeah, so we've actually got a blog post that details all of our announcements for Build. It's quite long, but there's jump links. You can jump to the bits that you want, but I encourage you to read it all. That links off to a separate blog post which details our enterprise assistant and pre-built experiences. And I would just absolutely love it, as well as the whole team. If you've not tried it, please go download Composer. You'll see how quickly you can get started. And anything at all, I love getting feedback. Please reach out to me on Twitter @GaryPretty, and I'm always happy to hear from people. And if you hit a problem, reach out to me, because we're here to help solve it.
Of course. Gary, thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching. We're learning all about how to build bots with Azure Bot Services. Comprehensive development experience. That's an understatement. It was pretty good. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care. Holy cow, Gary, that was delicious. Hold on, let me see. We're running a little bit behind, Sethu.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we're fine. We have one more, but let's see the questions that we've gotten here. Hey, gents, in Sweden it's Kermit. Oh, by the way, in Sweden it's Kermit. So FYI.
Okay. Yeah.
In LA. Kermit the Frog is named La Rana René.
Wow.
LA, where's LA? In like LA, Los Angeles? Or is that somewhere else? Maybe they'll tell us.
Latin America?
Latin America. Oh, there you go. Se llama La Rana René. Composer from Simon is thebomb.com.
Hey, Simon. Yes, Simon was kind enough to tweet me after the demo as well.
I love it.
That was good of him. Yeah,
I love it. He's saying, been a while since I looked at Composer. Looks great. Kudos, Gary. Here's the thing. I had to actually use the old Composer because we had a Gartner analyst review and they wanted me to help with a thing. And I had to learn Bot Framework Composer in the middle of the night in an airport in Brazil.
Well, I mean, kudos to you.
This looks so much better than that.
Yeah,
so,
we really focused on this. It's been a mammoth effort. I can't even describe how hot some of these things came in for good reason, right? We spent time and we got it right. And what I'm really excited about is knowing all the things that we've got planned for the next few months. And it's just awesome. But knowing that folks can just get started now and they are not left hanging, on the edge of the cliff, wondering what to do, it's great.
All right, last question. We have like 10 seconds, and then I got to kick you out. Which .NET frame runtimes does the bot framework support?
So right now, everything in Composer is .NET Core, .NET Core 3, I believe, and the SDK, I think, still has support for some .NET framework. Yeah, but it's all documented. If you head over to the Microsoft Docs for the Bot Framework SDK, it's all there.
Fantastic, Gary. You're thebomb.com. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Thanks so much, Seth. Bye now.
All right, Sethu. How you doing, buddy? You're on.
Hey, Seth.
All right, so I got to get this in. I'm a little behind, but me and Sethu got to work on this stuff together a little bit. He's thebomb.com. Let me get my links in here so everyone knows where to go. All right. You ready, buddy? Any questions?
Yes.
Should we just do this? Let's just do this. Is it managed endpoints or managed online endpoints?
So managed endpoints is the overall concept. We have both online and batch endpoints. So
That's
today
right.
we're going to be talking about the online endpoints.
That's right. All right. So let's do this. Let's get started because we want to make sure we stay on time. You ready, buddy?
Yes. So let me share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen. Oh, and I forgot to open. I got to open this thing. I almost forgot. Almost forgot. That would be terrible. I didn't know what I'm doing. By the way, Sethu's awesome. When it comes to these build things, like we were like messaging each other like in the middle of the night. Hey, can it do this? Or what about this? How do we fix this? The product teams here are just fantastic.
So Seth, can you see my screen?
Let me get it up. I sure can. Is that how you want to show it, or do you want to go fuller screen? And also make sure you hit hide on the StreamYard thing.
Hide on the StreamYard thing. Got it. All right. So we just have like 2 slides. Maybe I'll just stick with this for now, and then we jump right to the demo part.
I love it. I love it. So we'll start. You ready?
Yes.
All righty. Here we go.
All right, folks. So we are.
Wait. No. I'll do a. Here's how it works. So I'll do a little. You're not gonna want to miss this episode of the AI show. It's for a Twitter video, so that we can cut it out and put it on Twitter. And then I'll introduce you. And then if you run out of things to say, stop talking. And then the other rule is always look at the camera if you're talking to me. And if you're doing demo, you can look at the other thing. Okay. All right. You ready?
Yes.
I got you. I'll take you through this journey of wonder and excitement. All right. Let's do this. Hold on. They're telling me something on Teams. There you go. Okay, cool. No, they're good. They're good. All right. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Sethu take us. Gosh, I'm so bad. All right, here we go. All right, make sure you look at the camera. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI show where Sethu talks all about a brand new feature in Azure Machine Learning called Managed Endpoints. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI show. We're talking all about managed endpoints. I've got a special guest. Sethu, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do, my friend.
Hey, Seth. So my name is Sethu Raman. I'm a product manager in Azure ML, focusing primarily in the inference side of things.
Fantastic. So let's start first with, look, software deployments in general are hard. It's got to be even harder with machine learning. And with machine learning based software, what are y'all doing to help?
So we've been hearing from a lot of our customers who have been working with us, and we're releasing this new capability called Managed Online Endpoints as a part of public preview and build, which gives users the ability to bring their model and deploy it across powerful GPU and CPU computes in Azure. Primarily, I want to call out 3 things, Seth.
Okay.
First one is the managed infrastructure. So users need not worry about creating a cluster, upgrading it, and so on. So the system takes care of the underlying patching of the software, upgrading the host images, recovering from failure. All of this is handled for you. The second thing is we've spent a lot of time in thinking about the ops support for machine learning. Here, we give users the ability to do safe rollout of their models using a native support for blue-green deployment. We give a built-in support for Azure Monitor integration to give SLA monitoring. And then we also integrate with log analytics and app insights and more. And the third thing is deep debuggability. And one primary thing I want to call out here is the local endpoint support, where users would be able to deploy and test and debug iteratively their endpoint logic in their local Docker container. And I want to talk about a new concept we are introducing here, which is the endpoint and the deployments. So here, the clients that score want to do the invocation, hit an endpoint, and the endpoint has the SSL termination, it has got the auth, and it has got the traffic split logic there. So users have an endpoint, so the developers deploy an endpoint, and then multiple deployments underneath this. Deployment, you can have more than one. In this example, you can see I've got a blue and a green, and blue is running a different version of the model with running on CPU machines, and green is running on GPU machines. You'll be able to do safe rollout using the endpoint and the deployments in the managed endpoints.
I mean, this is really cool because rolling out software safely is hard, and being able to do it with machine learning is even better. Can you show us how it works?
Absolutely, Seth. So I wanted to show you like two parts. In the first part of the demo, I want to show our users.
Can you pause right here? Hit Control plus 2 times so people can see a little bit. Just Control plus just to make the screen a little bit bigger. So Control plus. There you go. And then you'll have to scroll a bit. Now people can see. Okay. So start with, what you see here.
So here you can see I have 2 folders. And first of all, I'll tell you what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to deploy a GPU model into, I'm going to deploy a machine learning model in GPU servers in Azure. So that's what we're trying to do here. And you can see 2 folders here. One is the GPT-2 model. So in this case, I'm using a GPT-2 machine learning model. It's a popular model for natural language generation. I just cloned it from Hugging Face. It's an open source repo. And then I've got an Azure directory in which I have 3 files that you need for the deployment. So one is the score.py, which has the logic for loading and scoring the file. Then you have your Python dependencies in the conda YAML. And then finally, you have the endpoint YAML here. The endpoint YAML just is a configuration for wiring up all your inputs that are needed to create the model. So you have the endpoint related details, which is the name and auth and traffic details. And the deployment, you can have, here you have only one deployment named Blue. You have model specific details, code details. You're giving all these, wiring up these details for deployment. And finally, you have a GPU machine, the instance type, which queue you want to use for GPU. So once you set this up, the only prerequisite to create this endpoint is you need to have Azure ML Workspace, no other prerequisite. And I'm running the single command, which is azml endpoint create from my CLI, and just passing this YAML file here. So once you do that, you will get an endpoint which is going to be deployed in Azure in the GPU nodes, and you get a REST endpoint for scoring. So in order to save time, I've run these commands, and I'm going to show you how the experience works in hindsight.
Got it.
So here I've run this command here. It takes a few minutes, and you can see that, hey, the whole thing is done. The model is registered. I've got an endpoint created. Now let's pull the endpoint details. In order to score it, we need 2 details, right? We need the scoring URI and the auth details. So I'm using a show command here to pull the scoring URI here. And here I can see the scoring URI, good. And I have a command for pulling the auth, get credentials. And I've actually filled in the details here. It's a REST client similar to a Postman, but built into VS Code, but you can use a REST client of your choice. Here I have put the details of the URI and the token information here. And this is the input. I love pizza because, and I expect the machine learning model to autocomplete. So it's making an invocation right now, and it's executing in the GPU nodes, and we have a response here. So it generated some interesting text here.
That's
so this
cool.
is this shows you how you are able to deploy a model into GPU and get like an endpoint within like a few steps. So this is all well and good, but I also want to show you the how users can debug this. So people who have tried to deploy models into cloud know how difficult it is to debug their models, because whenever you want to make a change, you want to wait for a few minutes, it goes to the cloud and deploy it. So here what we have is a concept of local deployments. So in this, you are able to create any command that we run. You are able to run that, and all you can do is just do a -- local in the end. So in this case, we are doing a AZML endpoint create, and you have to do a -- local. I think when I zoomed in, the some of the CLI got clipped here, but I'll show you how it looks. The same command that we did, you just do a flag here, -- local, and you'll be able to execute all of these commands like AZML endpoint invoke and log, get logs. So all of them you will be able to do and like debug locally in a Docker container.
This is amazing. This is so hard to do.
Exactly. I want to show you because the information got flipped. I will show you how this is done. So this is what you do. So when you do this, you create the same YAML that you use for production, but you just do -- local. So it's going to deploy in a local Docker image.
That's really cool.
So this is first part of the demo. Now let's go to the part that you asked, which is safe rollout. How can users do the safe rollout?
Let's hit Control Plus just a couple times to make sure we can see the text.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. So here, in this part of the demo, I'm going to show you the safe rollout capability. You have already an endpoint and a deployment which is deployed in production. Let's say we have one deployment named Blue, which is up and running. Now I want to roll out a new version of the model, a more efficient version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the same YAML, and I'm going to add a new deployment called Green here. And here, if you look at my scoring code, I am purposefully putting scoring with error. I'm introducing a parsing error so that I can show you how users will be able to catch this and roll out a new version.
Right.
And when I want to roll this into production, all I need to do is do a AZML endpoint update and just pass the name of the YAML. You could have updated the same YAML, but for the sake of the demo, I created another one here. And once I do that, let's go to the metrics, Azure Monitor integration, and see what happens. But before that, we had 0% traffic to Green, right? So let's divert some percentage of traffic to Green. So here I'm going, I'm saying it's 10% traffic to Green to start with, and I'm clicking update. So once I update and live traffic, now Green is going to take 10% live traffic. Initially it took 0%, now it's taking 10%. And let's go and see the metrics whether our rollout was successful. So here you can see in the metrics page, the first chart shows you that the traffic split between Blue and Green is good. Like we have 10%, 90%, like 115 requests per minute in Blue and 10 requests per minute in Green, looks good. But if you look at the status code split that we have here, we are like filtering on Green and we are displaying the HTTP status code. You can see in the bottom chart, like all the inputs that came to Green are error, which is HTTP status 4XX. That means something has gone wrong in a deployment. So what we do is we pull our log analytics and we can pin it to Green and filter on a specific time. And actually, I can see that there is an error here. I can see in my score.py, there was some exception thrown, looks like a parsing error. So I found my issue. So I'm going back and I'm updating the same YAML. But this time, I'm going to use a scoring fix. So I fixed that scoring file. It could have been the same score.py that's updated, by the way. And I fire an update command again. So here you will see the power of declarative, how we've declaratively able to update the YAML. So this is aligned with the principles of GitOps, where all the changes go through Git in a declarative way. Everything is audited. So now I failed the update, and let's see if our rollout was successful this time. So this time you have to notice it's an in-place update, right? The first time we did a blue-green, now it's an in-place update, and it's a rolling update that happens in the backend. So we go here. Hey, looks like our green as all the red has gone down. So basically all the HTTP status code 400 is going down after we pass the fix, and all the HTTP 200 is rising up. This basically means that our fix worked. So all successes after the fix is done. So this is great news. And we can go here back and update we can give more traffic here, 50% traffic, and we can see what happens. By the way, we have CLI. You'll be able to do that using the CLI as well. So we are now going to see in the screen 50%, how the 50% traffic looks like. You will see that blue is coming down and green is popping up.
So as that's coming up, I just want people to understand, because I mean, we're going kind of fast. Basically, you're able, with the new managed endpoints, you're able to create deployment slots with different models. And what he showed is he showed one that broke everything, but it didn't break us because only 10% of the traffic went there, and he was able to safely update it, which is really cool. Show us what you got right here, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely, Seth. So here you can see that now after green is taking 50%, you can see the traffic blue and green are like near 50-50. So this looks good. Our traffic update work. And we can see the latency that blue is taking 95 milliseconds and the new efficient model just taking 23 milliseconds, our P90 latency. So our rollout is successful. Our model is efficient as we expect. So great. And then we can, of course, roll out the 100% traffic and we are ready to delete blue. So this kind of shows the journey of how user starts from like playing locally with a Docker to make sure all the code and the dependencies work, and then move to the cloud with the first version, monitor SLAs, and then going with the second version with a safe rollout and able to debug any issues and move forward and phase out the old version.
That was cool, and I know we went by really fast, but that journey is super important because before people would like deploy a Flask app and everything would break. Here you can manage it safely with a deployment with 10%, and then if that breaks, you switch it out, and then you move stuff up. This is really cool, my friend. Where can people go to find out more?
So there is a link that's right there displayed. People can go there, and here users would be able to run like a hands-on exercise from starting to end. Users would be able to experience this themselves.
Awesome. Well, Sethu, this has been amazing. You've been learning all about managed endpoints here on the AI Show. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care. All righty, buddy. I'm going to put the closing music because we're almost out of time. Sethu, that was awesome, buddy.
All right, thanks.
Let's get some questions. Kevin, the man. This is really awesome feature. Getting the model deployed in monitors is a complex task right now, but not anymore with your stuff, Sethu. What do you think? Commentary, reaction.
Yeah, I think it is a complex stuff, and with managed endpoints, we give you all the ops tools or the ops tools to the users, so they'll be able to manage this in the right ops way.
Yeah, and it's cool because, like, look, I've been playing with it. I even managed to get it to work with GitHub Actions.
Yeah, I saw your demo. That's pretty cool. I'm actually pointing it out to some of the customers who asked, and you are able to you developed a safe rollout option, right? So without users having to manually deploy a new version, we have, you'll be able to use GitHub Actions to do a safe rollout. Which is really cool.
All right, here's another one. Do managed endpoints work with an inference endpoint of an automated ML model, AutoML?
So great question. It does work. Today, AutoML spits like a sklearn model or a TensorFlow model, whatever model. We have to do some, we have to configure this in your endpoint YAML to do the right dependencies, and it will work. And then, and we'll make this even more smoother going forward.
All right. Well, Sethu, you're the man. We'll see you next time, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Seth.
Take care. All right, friends. We did it. We managed to make, I think it was, how many? We made like 5 AI shows in 2 hours. Working hard, my friends. All right, general thoughts on this format of doing this many. It feels a little rushed. Did it feel a little rushed for y'all? I hope it didn't. It did for me in my head. I was like, oh no, you gotta hurry up. Do we like the project style, or do we like the jumping in, jumping out stuff? What do you think? What do we got? Beldatas is super happy. Thank you, Seth. And Sethu. You guys wonder why he's a cool guy? Because his name starts with Seth. Indeed. Indeedy. It's been fun being with you all this time. Next time we come back on the AI show, we are going to be looking with Aishul and Vanessa are going to continue their AI playground with cognitive services. That's next week, of course. Yeah, that's next week, of course. Make sure you tune in for that. I flashed it real quick. I'll put it at the end. And then the week after that, we're going to We're going to continue work on our Rochambeau project, and this time we're going to have to learn React, because nothing is real in the world of computer science until you've done something in JavaScript. So I'm excited for that. My friends, it's been a pleasure being with you, and hopefully we'll see you at the next show. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.